Welcome to Adventures in Alchemy, a podcast filled with witchy tips and true stories to inspire your magical life. I am Michelle Martin Dobbins, the creator of Daily Alchemy and the Adventures in Alchemy podcast. This podcast is supported by the Daily Alchemy Premium Members Lab. I don't run a Patreon, so I keep membership at a very economical $11.11 a month. For that, you not only help sponsor this podcast, but you will receive access to 14 alchemy courses, and we add a new course each quarter, access to Reiki Level 1, 2, and Master's training and distance attunements, plus a library of audio distance Reiki healings, monthly alchemical experiments, PDFs of all my books and planners, and 15% off of everything else I sell. Also, there's a members-only Facebook group, so we can chat amongst ourselves in a private community. So when you join, I do ask that you commit to 3 months, since you are able to access and download all of the content immediately. It's $33.33 for the first 3 months, and then $11.11 every month after. I am so grateful to all the premium members who support my work, and I'd love to have you as a premium member too. If you're not already one, you can go to DAPM Lab, that stands for Daily Alchemy Premium Members Lab, dapmlab.com to check it out, or there'll be a link in the show notes. Now, on with the show, and may it be a blessing to all who listen. Hey there. Today we're going to talk about 3 signs of alignment, and we're going to kind of be getting it old school, talking more about law of attraction. And for me, it's going to be one of my big pet peeves. One of my problems with law of attraction is why, even though I do a lot of practices, which could be considered law of attraction practices, my viewpoint is something that I consider more to be spiritual alchemy, because in the law of attraction world, there is this misnomer that you need to always be happy and upbeat and positive and quote unquote high vibe, right? Because if you're not, then you're not manifesting what you want, or you're manifesting something bad's on its way because you're low vibe. And I think it's just like a lot of things in life, it's more complicated than that. There's nothing wrong with having vision boards. There's nothing wrong with doing affirmations. There's nothing wrong with doing so many of these beautiful practices, but there is something wrong with putting a smiley face on over a lot of sadness and grief and pain and anger that you hold in. So I want to talk to you about some deeper signs of alignment, because a lot of times people will tell you if you're keeping your vibe high all the time, then that means you're in alignment and things are coming. So you're trying really hard to keep that vibe high, and it's like going at it backwards. So these are some signs that you're in alignment that I would really like to see you working for. So just making yourself happy in the moment isn't always the answer, as we know, because in the moment, a chocolate bar can taste really good, but it can give you a stomachache later on if you eat too much. Guilty right here. Like making a big purchase can make you feel really good for just a little bit of time. We want to do something that creates alignment, that is deeper, because getting things is really cool and attracting things in your life is really cool. But I'm a big believer, and I'm not sure if I've said this on the podcast, but I know I've said it maybe in some of the classes in the lab, of Lon Milo DeCat. He says that the only thing that magic changes is you. And it seems like all these other things are happening, and he works with spirits and all kinds of things that he sees and he interacts with. But at the deep core, even if you believe in magic, the thing that magic really, really changes is you. And that's what alchemy is all about. It's about perfecting yourself and actually getting down to the essence of yourself. When we work with plant alchemy, there's different levels of things. There's tinctures and there's elixirs and oils and different things. And each of those is like a different way to get deeper into the essence of the plant. And so the plant's form changes when you go through making a tincture or an elixir. But when it changes, it actually becomes more of itself. So, those are the kinds of changes that we want to make, those alchemical changes, those growth of self changes, because when we make those changes, we become the person who gets the things that we want to have. And we also get to be not necessarily a better person, but we get to be a more connected, more grounded, more of who we really are, more of our true essence. So, let's dive into the signs right now. One of those signs is that you feel purposeful, that you have a purpose for your life, even if it's not like a lifelong overarching purpose that's going to last forever. You have a purpose beyond just getting things, usually, right? But like I know a lot of people come to magic starting out to get things, and then that leads them on the path of growth because magic changes them. So, that's fine if that's where you're at. I think that if you work with magic, you will change and grow and you will have a deeper, higher purpose. For me, my purpose is to have more people engage with magic, to have more people use alchemy and magic to transform their lives, because I feel like the more of us in the world who are engaged this way, the more growth we're going to see on the planet, the more good things we're going to see happening in all of our lives and in our planet, in our world. And that sounds really cool to me. If you don't have a purpose that speaks to you right now, I would just suggest don't like keep going around looking for one and being like, oh, okay, I got to find my purpose, got to find my purpose. I would say my purpose is to live fully and then get up every day with that plan and that purpose to live that day as fully as you possibly can. And tune into your heart, tune into your intuition, and ask for that guidance to live fully. And, that's a fine purpose in life, I think. And also, I feel like a lot of times that leads you to a more deeper, more specific purpose, which isn't necessarily necessary, but whatever works and feels good for you. So, the next sign of alignment after feeling purposeful or having a purpose is determination or steadfastness, taking little action steps every day, because those little steps add up. Every day, we don't always feel like taking those steps. And so, advice is to do something every day, one or two things that get you in that mindset of magic. Do honestly meditation. Meditation is like my recommendation. So many of us avoid it, even the magical community, because I've talked to so many people who say, yeah, I really want to meditate, but I haven't. In fact, if you're not on my email list or following me on social media, I'm going to do a meditation, not a medication challenge, a meditation challenge coming up. So I would love for you to join me for that, because that is one of the things that really helps you tune in, helps you find your purpose, helps you just so good for so many things magically. So that would be like the big one for me to ask you to do. Like some people pull a card every day for direction. Some people light a candle, work with an altar, or say affirmations, or so many things, so many things. But honestly, I feel like meditation, even if you only do a 3 to 5 minute meditation, will help you so much. So, fulfillment and determination, the way to keep going with that is to do your magical work and then keep going. Even like you don't actually have to be happy every day. You don't actually have to beat yourself up if today's not a good day. Like emotions are the weather. So we can just notice them and work with them. Hale Dwoskin, who works with the Sedona method, he took it over from Lester Levinson. And I really like his work, but I like the fact that He talks about how so many people who use his work, the Sedona method, which is a releasing technique, they do the Sedona method. And actually, that's a great one that you could do every day to help keep you focused and going. Is they do that and then they go do what their day calls for. We live in a physical world, in a physical body. Yes, there is way, way more to us than what we see and what we're aware of. And I love connecting with that part of us. But I also assume that the fact that we're in a physical world and a physical body means that we should engage that world too and do those things that move us forward. So he would say, like, people do the releasing and then they go out and they follow their intuition and do take the actions during the day. So to me, that is steadfast, that you're taking action every day and you don't let the temporary emotions and weather get to you, right? Some days it's going to rain. That doesn't mean that you're on the wrong path. Fulfillment is the last one. And we don't always feel fulfilled, but if you can go to bed at night feeling like you did something that made a difference that day, that even if it's just a little chip in the stone, I'm not sure where that came from. Anyway, it's okay to have days when you want to throw in the towel and stuff, but when you go to sleep at night and you feel like, yes, I'm doing things that make a difference in my life and the lives of others, then that's the sign that you're in alignment with your higher self. We've seen a lot of people who are look like they have amazing lives and we find out that they're unhappy. And sometimes it's because they're chasing a success that isn't what they really want. They're chasing a purpose that isn't their true purpose. They're just chasing things that look good to the outside world. And we think because they have those, they will feel happy, they will feel fulfilled. And that's not how it always works, right? So you have to really tune in and do what is right for you. Gosh, I don't know. I feel like I'm sending you guys on a crazy rabbit hole, but feeling fulfilled, feeling determined, feeling steadfast, feeling purposeful, those kinds of emotions to me are much more important than happy, sad, angry, mad, because I feel like when you're doing the work you're called to do, sometimes you're going to be happy, sometimes you're going to be sad, sometimes you're going to be angry, and sometimes you're going to be mad, and that is totally okay. Obviously, some emotions don't feel as good as others, but if we can just be with those emotions and feel them, they shift just like the rain. The rain comes, the rain goes, and our emotions can do the same, do the same. I just said do. Yeah, my kids would be laughing right now. So I encourage you to think about that when you're looking at your life and you're wondering how to make changes and how to get what you want out of life, and not to always look for happiness and bliss. Happiness and bliss are great. I love happiness. I love feeling good as much as the next person. But I've been working on enjoying all emotions. I quote this a lot. There was an interview I watched a long time ago with Alan Alda, the guy from MASH. And I loved what he said. He said he just enjoys his life every day. Like, even when he's angry, there's a part of him can step out and look at it and be like, that's really, look, he's angry. That's really cool. And that is a skill that I've worked on cultivating for years now. And I'm sometimes good at it and sometimes not good at it. But I would say that that is a great way to learn how to deal with the weather. And that's kind of a paradox, right? Because when you get okay with all of your emotions, then you're happy even when you're angry. There's a part of you that is, right? There's a part of you that can step outside and like enjoy watching you be angry or sad or happy and blissful or just bored, whatever. There's a part of you when you work on that metacognition, you think about your own thinking and you can step outside yourself. It's definitely a practice, but it's a great practice to have because it brings a huge sense of freedom and alignment with your higher self. Because guess what? Your higher self is not upset about you having a bad day. It's not upset if you can't pay your bills. It's not upset if you eat some bad clams and throw up for 4 hours, because your higher self knows that it's all okay. It knows that you're a spiritual being, that you're learning, you're living, you're experiencing, and your higher self loves it all. So the more you can love it all, the more you're like your higher self. And paradoxically, that doesn't mean you have to be happy all the time, right? That doesn't mean that you can't be angry. But the changing of yourself is that there's a part of you that can be interested or curious or even enjoy the fact that you are angry or upset or sad. So that's a fun practice to play with. That and meditation, metacognition and meditation, all the metas are beautiful ways to help us get in alignment with our higher self. So I hope you'll play with that some this week and just notice maybe, yes, an assignment, an experiment for this week. Just notice the levels of purpose that you feel, the levels of fulfillment that you feel, the levels of determination and steadfastness that you feel, as opposed to these other emotions of happy, sad, angry, mad, bored, because they can cycle through so much faster. And just play with that if you can. Just make a note somewhere. Whenever I'm experiencing an emotion I don't like, I'm going to decide to step outside myself as an observer and see if I can enjoy or at least be neutral about this emotion that I'm experiencing. And other than that, just have at least one magical practice that you do every day, preferably in the morning, maybe in the evening, or both. And then just follow your day through intuition and heart and take action and be here in this world. And if you want to get more into meditation, as I said, check out dailyalchemy.com. And there should be a link there where you can get on my list and get some freebies and get signed up for the meditation challenge. And also, if you check me out on Facebook, I don't usually put challenges on Twitter, or you could put it on Instagram. I'll definitely put the challenge on there. So I promise you, meditation and metacognition are great ways to expand your magical abilities, because they expand who you are. All right, guys, have a magical day, and I will talk to you next time.